Kaeyi, and today we're going to be taking a look at Ducktales Remastered. Now, I got this awesome metal lunchbox from Capcom, and inside it probably has the coolest gift I've ever had from a PR company ever. Now, it's actually a Ducktales game cartridge from the original game. Now, this probably isn't like an original cartridge, but it's designed like the original. I'd be pretty shocked if it legit was an original one, but I'm gonna keep it nice after all anyway. And it just got some cool things like a pretend voucher for some green cheese, which actually runs out today, and things like that. So I just thought I'd show you because it looks really cool. It's kind of nostalgic and a bit of a collector's kind of item. Now let's get into the review. So Ducktales Remastered is basically, as it said, it's a remastered version of the original game that was on the NES. Now, as most of you know, NES games were renowned for being hard, especially platformers, and Ducktales Remastered does live up to that. There are specific modes as easy, medium, and hard is NES hard. So if you're looking for something with a challenge, then this is definitely going to give it to you. The one problem is it's a little bit punishing. If you die, you may have to repeat a whole level, which could be another 15 minutes of your time, just because you ran out of lives for something silly, like not being able to pogo jump properly and being hit by an enemy rather than killing them. Things like that do punish you quite strictly, and if you do run out of hearts, then you will have to repeat the levels, and it can become quite frustrating. However, if you are an absolute pro and you don't die, the game is probably going to be about 2 hours long. So part of me kind of feels like it's designed so that you do die, so that you're having to repeat levels, find all of the secrets and things like that. Whereas if you did just straight up blast through it, it wouldn't actually be that long. Now, there are 5 different levels. There's things like one's in Transylvania, one's in the Amazon, one's on the moon, and all of the levels have a very different style, an art style, their music specific to the zone, and also the mobs are very different in each of the levels as well. The only problem is the mix of 3D and 2D art styles doesn't quite work in Ducktales Remastered's favour. Now, you've got the sprites, which are 2D, so you've got Scrooge McDuck and the various other characters that you see throughout the levels, but the rest of the game is kind of a 3D style, so the backgrounds and the chests and everything like that are 3D, but you're kind of running along with this 2D sprite, and it doesn't really work. I feel like it all should have been in a 3D style, or they should have stuck everything being 2D. Following on from that, the sprite art styles are very bright and colourful, much like the original game, but the backgrounds of the zones aren't matching that, so they stand out a lot and it's painfully obvious that they are 2D. Now, for it being a remastered game, we all know that it's a remake of the original and that it's a very old style and it's paying homage to the classic games on the NES and things like that, but if you're going to remaster it, I think they should have maybe made the sprites a little bit more three-dimensional. However, the characters' voices and the remastered music is amazing. It's really, really nostalgic. You really get that feel of being like a 90s kid again and remembering the TV series and the original games and even the films that Scrooge McDuck are in. And it's really got the same character feel, him diving in a ton of gold and things like that, the way he treats Huey, Stewie and Dewey, and I just really, really like the fact that you can just relive that experience from your childhood. Is that enough though? The movement felt quite clunky and caused me to die a lot. I like to think that I'm pretty good at platformers. However, stupid mistakes and not really knowing what to do because it wasn't explained cause unnecessary deaths that cause frustration from having to replay the whole level again. Now, things like there's one specific part in the game on the Amazon level where you have to swap from vine to vine to vine. It doesn't tell you how you're meant to jump from one vine to the other. You would think if you were already on a vine at the top and you jumped, you would grab hold of the other vine, but that is not the case at all. You literally have to press space to jump, the up key arrow to grip onto the other vine, and the direction arrow. So you're pressing 3 keys on the keyboard to be able to do that. Now this leads on to me saying I would not get this game on PC, on Steam, unless you have a controller. Now the reason for this is that with a controller, something like Pogo Jump is only one button, whereas on Steam, if you play it with a keyboard, you're having to press like spacebar and Z. Now you can remap the buttons, but it still has to be 2 buttons to be an action and a jump. So you're having to press 2 buttons at the same time, and if you don't quite press them at the same time, then you will just end up dying because you've jumped into an enemy without being on your pogo stick, therefore not killing them, and they end up killing you. A little mistake like not pressing the buttons at the same time could cause you to have to redo a whole 15-minute level, and that can become quite frustrating at times, sadly. The mobs, however, are quite predictable. You can pretty much kill any of them by just jumping on their heads. The boss is the same, it's very rinse and repeat. You literally learn the mechanic in the first few seconds. The tutorial boss, for example, you have to kick a rock or an object up to a safe, it drops on its head, and then you bounce on its head, and you do that about 5 or 6 times till it dies. Unfortunately, it can become quite stressful if, again, you mispress a button, the boss kills you, you have to start that whole process again, and it can become quite tedious. However, for a game that is only priced $11.99, it does bring a lot of value to it. It's got the nostalgia factor, it's got the fact that it is a good platformer game, it's got the NES difficulty for those who like doing speed runs, those of you who like being completionists. There are achievements on Steam, there are achievements like collecting a $10 million mark, and things like that that can become quite hard, and you'll want to rerun through the game to get all of these. But if you're not someone who was born in the 90s, or someone who remembers the TV series, then you're probably not going to see the appeal of this game. I'm going to give this game the recommended award. I recommend it to you if you enjoy platformers and if you remember Ducktales and you want to sing the theme song and just have it for that nostalgia factor. Maybe your NES is now broken, dusty, doesn't work, and you think, hey, I want to play this game. Definitely try it out. But if you're not so keen on trying something that isn't really your style, then I wouldn't say that this is for you. I do have a Kaeyi in specs on my channel, the link will be in the description. I'm playing the first 30 minutes of the game like I do with all of the games, and basically you'll just be able to see a straight up 30 minutes of the first part of the game, and then you can decide for yourself based on this review and based on that footage whether you want to purchase it. It does have some good factors to it, however personally for me, the downsides have been a little bit overwhelming, and I probably won't be going back to play more, sadly, because I was really excited for this game. Maybe we should just stop with the remastered games. I'm really not sure. I just think maybe the classics are classic for a reason and we should leave them that way and maybe play them with emulators. But that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on the review and the game if you've played it. It comes out tomorrow, and I'll see you next time. Bye!